The photograph of a young boy from the Warsaw Ghetto raising his hands in fear is undoubtedly one of the most famous images from Germany's dark past. The author of the photo is unknown, but it was taken in May 1943. In the background, one can see the ruthless gaze of an SS man with a machine gun. This is Josef Blosche. The entire group of people in the photo were deported to a death camp. Josef Blosche was an unremarkable, short man who went unnoticed on the street. In his youth, he worked at a small brick factory and at a hotel owned by his parents. He also trained as a waiter. As a child, Blosche received little attention but a lot of humiliation from his father. In 1938, Blosche was accepted into the infamous SS. In 1941, he served in the Einsatzgruppen in the occupied territories of the Soviet Union. The Einsatzgruppen were paramilitary death squads that mocked, tortured, and executed numerous innocent civilians behind the front lines. Among their victims were Polish intellectuals, Jews, and Gypsies. In October 1941, Blosche was sent to the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland. He served in the SD. His task was to track down Jews who were hiding in abandoned buildings to avoid deportation. He became a specialist in detecting hiding places and secret passages. During his spare time, he killed hundreds of Jewish men and women alone, deriving satisfaction from his cruel actions. He would go into the ghetto, commit crimes against Jewish women, and then shoot them. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Of course, this is not necessary. The main thing is to be sincere. Committing crimes became his daily routine. Every day he would ride around the ghetto on his bicycle and shoot several people at random just to intimidate them. If anyone even looked at him, they risked being killed. In 1943 alone, he killed more than 1,000 Jews. Before World War II, Jews accounted for over 25% of Warsaw's population. When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, the Nazis began systematically murdering Jews. In 1940, the Nazis confined over 400,000 Jews to the ghetto. The ghetto occupied an area of 3 square kilometers and was surrounded by a high wall. The Warsaw Ghetto was the largest of its kind in the Nazi-occupied territories. Many Jews in the ghetto perished due to disease, starvation, and regular executions. The Nazis allotted Jews fewer than 200 calories per day, leading to the starvation-related death of 100,000 Jews alone. In the summer of 1942, the Nazis deported 250,000 Jews to Treblinka, one of history's most terrible death camps. The Jews who remained in the Warsaw Ghetto knew that the same fate awaited them. As a result, the remaining Jews smuggled weapons into the ghetto and rebelled against the Nazis in 1943. Heinrich Himmler, the head of the SS, was enraged and executed an SS commander for incompetence. General Jürgen Stroop assumed command of the SS in Warsaw and brought in 2,000 soldiers to quash the uprising. Despite their efforts, about 1,500 Jewish fighters successfully fought back, killing approximately 300 German soldiers and destroying numerous tanks. After incurring significant losses, Stroop altered his strategy and decided to burn the entire ghetto down. Using artillery, smoke bombs, and flamethrowers, the Nazis systematically destroyed the ghetto. Stroop later noted in his report, "The Warsaw Ghetto is no more." Of the 400,000 Jews in Warsaw, only 11,500 survived the war. Josef Blosche blindly followed SS General Stroop everywhere and received a medal for his performance during the Warsaw Ghetto uprising. In May 1945, Blosche, disguised in civilian clothing, was captured by the Soviet army and became a prisoner of war. After 2 years of forced labor, the Soviets released him, and he returned to Germany in 1947. While in the labor camp, he suffered a severe work-related accident that deformed his face, altering his nose, mouth, and chin. Blosche's facial injuries rendered him unrecognizable, and as a result, no one realized that the disfigured man was a former Nazi criminal. Upon his return to Germany, he married Hanna Schoenstedt, a widow, and had 2 children with her. He lived in Urbach, where he worked at a local mine and as a harvester. Additionally, he assisted his wife at her restaurant and was active in the local community. Blosche remained silent about his wartime activities. In 1961, former SS member Heinrich Klaustermeier notified German authorities about Blesche's role in the Warsaw Ghetto. However, it took authorities 6 years to locate and apprehend him. The German Secret Service, the Stasi, arrested him in 1967. Survivors of the Warsaw Ghetto barely recognized Blesche due to his facial deformities. Although his face was unrecognizable, some people could identify him by his icy eyes, such as Anna Kaczpzak, a survivor of the ghetto. Blesche confessed to crimes against humanity, including executions, crimes against women, and participation in mass deportations. He was found guilty of murdering over 2,000 Jews and deporting 300,000 Jews to death camps. He received a death sentence and was executed on July 29, 1969, in Leipzig, Germany, with a single shot to the neck. The peaceful life led by Josef Blosche for 2 decades, unnoticed by many, raises questions about how many Nazi criminals went unpunished for their actions against humanity. Some researchers are still attempting to understand the motives behind Josef Blesche's actions. Psychiatrist Michael Osterheider, director of the Westphalian Center for Forensic Psychiatry in Lippstadt, came to the following conclusion. By nature, due to his personal circumstances, Josef Blosche was a rather unemotional person. Few feelings, little temper, almost no mood. People who lack emotions to such an extent are disdainful not only of others, but also of themselves. Criminal psychologist Thomas Müller, who works at the Austrian Ministry of the Interior, later reached a similar conclusion. Regarding the photo that determined the fate of Josef Blosche, here is a little more information about its history. The New York Times first published this picture on December 26, 1945, along with other photographs used as evidence in the Nuremberg trials. The photo did not become widely known until the 1970s, perhaps because most countries preferred to celebrate their victory over Nazi Germany rather than remember the victims of its regime. In 2016, Time magazine included this photo on its list of the 100 most influential photos of all time. It is unlikely that the boy depicted in the photo will ever be identified. During the trial, Josef Blosche stated, "The picture shows me as a Gestapo officer in the Warsaw Ghetto with a group of SS members expelling a large number of Jewish citizens from their homes. The group of Jewish citizens consists mainly of children, women, and the elderly, who are being driven out of the house through a doorway with their hands raised. Then, the Jewish citizens were taken to the square, from where they were sent to the Treblinka death camp." Thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you were interested. Please make sure you subscribe and like. You will find more similar videos on my channel.